All right, you beautiful sons of guns. I am going to show you the fastest way that you can grow a 7 or 8 figure brand. Now, I'm talking e-commerce brand, Amazon brand, D2C brand, doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to show you the fastest way that you can do it. And this is the way that all of the biggest brands that you see on a daily basis, this is how maybe not all of them, but the vast majority of them build their brands in this way, and you don't even realize it. And I think this is a massive, massive realization, or it should be a massive realization for most people watching this video as a beginner, or even somebody maybe with a bit of experience in e-commerce. And hopefully it's going to completely change the way that you view e-commerce, whether it's drop shipping, Amazon FBA, it doesn't matter what the model is. This is hopefully going to really plant a seed in your head of how the biggest brands do this, and they grow crazy quick. And I'm going to explain it with a bunch of examples and then lay it all out. And I'm super excited about this one because this is going to be incredible. So to illustrate the point that I'm going to make, I want to talk about this niche, right? And this is mushroom coffee. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, right, you'll see that mushroom coffee on Amazon has been going crazy, right? So if we take a look, mushroom coffee, if we have a look at the search trend for this is a niche that's absolutely booming, right? So if we take a look, this is a tool called Helium 10. If you don't have Helium 10, it's incredible because it shows you all this type of stuff. We do have a discount link in the video description. We also have links to our community, a bunch of other stuff that's in the video description. So if you want to learn more about working with us or anything like that, go and check it out. You're not going to regret it. So let's have a look. Mushroom coffee, right, is something that you can see from this search trend is a growing and a booming niche. It's going to be worth billions of dollars. I don't know the total value. I would imagine it's probably already a $1 billion industry, right? And that's why articles like this get written on it, because so many people are searching for it, right? So it talks about what is mushroom coffee, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of big brands that have come out of this space, and it's the perfect example for me to illustrate the point that I'm making in this video for how you can build your own 7 and 8 figure brand. So as mushroom coffee started to explode, what we saw was more demand, which meant more brands. Now, some of these brands in this article are kind of the OGs. Like Four Sigmatic was founded, I think, in 2012. So that's quite a long time ago, right? There's other brands, Dirty Coffee. I don't know whether, so this one was founded in 2016. So a lot of these brands have been around for quite a long time. But there's a brand in the UK called Space Goods. Now, this is a brand owned by a lovely chap called Matt Kelly, super smart guy. He's got his own YouTube channel. He talks a lot about the brand. I've had a call with Matt. He's a really nice guy. I hope he doesn't mind me using his brand as an example, because I'm a big admirer of what he's done with this brand. But this is the perfect illustration of what I think is almost a hack to building these brands, right? So Space Goods launched, I think, in 2020. It's only about 4 years old, this brand. But you can see that the brands, the original brands in this mushroom coffee space have been around for a long time. So are the cogs starting to turn? Are you starting to get what the point that I'm going to be making in this video? And that point is that to build a 7 and an 8 figure brand, you just copy other brands. Now, you don't copy the brands exactly, because Space Goods is a very original looking brand. But Matt didn't come up with the idea for mushroom coffee. Matt didn't revolutionize the coffee industry by creating this super unique, this super new and revolutionary product. Matt saw the opportunity to launch a product based on other brands and other products that were doing really well in a different territory. Because at the minute, Space Goods is primarily in the UK. They don't sell in the US. I think they sell in Germany now, and they're starting to expand across Europe. But this is a pattern that I see with so many big brands. They wait for other people to do all of the hard work to verify the market, to get product market fit, and they essentially just copy the brand. Now, they're not copying it as in the name and the way that the brand looks, but they're copying the product, and they're just executing in a different market in a slightly different way. Because I don't know specifically with the ingredients in here, whether it's a straight up copy of a lot of these big brands. I imagine it's pretty close, right? This is essentially all that big brands do, is they essentially wait for other people to do it, and then they just use their skills and they execute on that to come up with something new. So this is the main takeaway for the video, and I'm going to show you a bunch more examples, which hopefully is going to inspire you to kind of do the same. Now, a lot of people watching this might be like, well, I don't really just want to copy, but that's what you have to understand. This is how big businesses are built. Most big businesses are built by just seeing what works in other industries or other products and brands and business, whatever. And then you just copy it with a slightly different version and you do a better job of it, or you just do the same job, but in a different territory. So I think one of the biggest opportunities right now, and this is what we're doing with a new brand that we're launching, we've seen a brand in the US absolutely killing it. We are essentially going to copy that product with our own brand in the UK. And we're going to launch that brand and that product using Facebook ads, using Shopify and Amazon together. Because if you come to amazon.co.uk and you search for space goods, what you're going to see is that space goods are not really doing a huge amount on amazon.co.uk, right? So they're on here, they're advertising, you know, they're on here, right? It's $39.99. You can see 2,000 plus were bought again. So they're getting subscription revenue on Amazon, but they're only doing about £30,000 on Amazon. So if you're only doing your research on Amazon in the UK, for example, you might look at this space and think, well, there's not that much money in this sort of coffee stuff, right? Because you've got another company here, Free Soul, they're doing the similar thing, 33,000. So you might think, well, there's not that much money. But I know for a fact, because Matt talks about this, that Matt is doing close to £1 million a month, right? So on Amazon, he's only doing 30,000. But once you launch a brand and you do it D2C, you know, you can do crazy numbers because you're not just relying on the demand from Amazon of how many people are searching for mushroom coffee on Amazon. You're creating that demand through advertising on Facebook, on Instagram, and all of these platforms. So the opportunity is absolutely massive because a product like this appeals to so many people in the UK that Matt's grown an 8-figure brand by essentially seeing what's working in the US. And then I don't want to say straight up copying because he's not done that for sure. He's used that as inspiration to launch the brand in the UK. And there's tons of examples. Another example is this creatine brand that I found. The owner of this is on TikTok talking about the brand. I think that these guys are doing probably £4 or £5 million in the UK every single year. Now, this is not a completely unique product. Creatine gummies has been going absolutely crazy. If you come to Amazon.com and you search for creatine gummies, what you're going to see is the demand over the past couple of years going absolutely crazy. And there's a couple of big brands in the US that have absolutely dominated this niche. So you can see here, like virtually nothing, all the way up to 112,000 people searching it. And this is one of the biggest brands. I've covered them before on the channel. This is a brand called Create, and they have creatine monohydrate gummies, as you can see in the picture. It's a little gummy. You take 2 or 3 of these a day, and it gives you your 4 or 5 grams of creatine per day. So this is a brand in the UK that I'm a huge fan of. Where did it go? Overload Creatine. They've done a really good job of creating a twist where they've actually put electrolytes in there, which is very, very clever. Now, this brand, again, at the minute, they're not even on Amazon. I think they're out of stock, but they're not doing very well on Amazon. I think they were doing £6,000 a month on Amazon. So if you're only looking at e-commerce from an Amazon's perspective, you might look at that brand and think it's not doing very well. But I know that this brand is doing at least 6 figures a month. They're running tons of Facebook ads. You can see the traffic that they're getting. They're absolutely killing it. And this is a very, very simple product sourced from China. And the guy's selling it for over £20. I guarantee he's not paying more than £3 to land this into the UK. I'd be very surprised if it's more than that. But again, this is another example of seeing what's happening as a consumer trend in the US. What are these big brands like these guys doing? You might look at that and go, well, you know, they're already doing it. Someone's already doing it. I can't do it. No, if someone else is doing it, that's verification that there is product market fit, that there's demand in the market. And if you couple that with trends and looking at stuff like this, where creatine gummies, where did it go? If you couple that with looking at creatine gummies and seeing how many people are searching for this, and you know how to source a product, how to brand it, how to put all of these things together to create a product and a brand, you're going to make a lot of cash. And if you know how to launch D2C, if you know how to create a really nice Shopify site like this, then you're completely in control. And I believe that the future for beginners getting into Amazon or getting into e-commerce is stuff like this. It's subscription-based products. You launch on Shopify. You launch with a few $1,000. You could start this brand with £3,000 or $3,000. You don't need to spend a ton of money. And what you're going to do is you're going to launch this brand on Shopify. You're going to create meta ads, because let's come over to the meta ad library. You know what? I feel like I'm spitting some hot heat. People better appreciate this, because I just don't see this anywhere else. I don't see anybody talking about this sort of stuff on YouTube, and I absolutely love it. But let's have a look what this guy is doing on the meta ad library, because again, I want to make everything super digestible for you watching this video if you're a beginner. So let's have a look, right? So I'm going to explain how I would launch this brand. So Overload Protein, is it this one? I think it could be this one. Yeah, it's this one, right? So what you can do is you can find these products, find these brands, and you can see what they're doing on Meta. Now you can see all of these adverts that this guy is running. How to take creatine. Here's an FYI before you purchase your first creatine powder. No more raw dogging creatine. I love the creatives that this guy has got. It's super, super smart, super good. So you can see how this guy is using Meta to drive traffic to his website. He's getting people to buy this, to subscribe, and he's built an incredible business. But he didn't come up with this concept from scratch. He wasn't sat in bed going, oh, I want to get rich with e-commerce. I want to build a 7- and 8-figure brand. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to come up with a brand new product. No, he saw what was working in another niche, and then he copied it. He copied it. That's it. And I'm not saying that by taking, I'm not trying to take anything away from what he's done. He's done an incredible job. But the smartest business people, they don't come up with the brand new ideas. Leave that for the Thomas Edisons of the world. You know what I mean? We're not inventors. We're mimicking, we're copying, we're getting inspiration from these other brands. Now, I've got other examples. An example here is a brand that I've covered on the channel before, Primal Queen. These guys are absolutely killing it. Is this a brand new product? No, it's not, but they've copied it. They've copied it from Ancestral Supplements, which is a massive, massive brand that sells these types of products that are these beef supplements. Another incredible brand in the UK that I've seen is this brand called Free Soul. So let's have a look on Helium 10. Again, this is an Amazon and a D2C brand. If you check on Meta, you're going to see that they're running Meta ads. They're all over TikTok. But look, you can see these guys are doing £1.3 million every single month. 240,000 apple cider vinegar gummies. Where have you seen that before? In the US, this is incredibly popular. Probiotics. Greens. Let's have a look at this. Does this look familiar? Is there a big brand that sells these types of greens with all of these ingredients in there? Let's have a look. AG1, $1 billion company. So are you starting to see the pattern that all of these brands are doing? They are not coming up with original ideas. They're not coming up with original ideas. And you've got to ask yourself, if you're sat there and you're thinking, Alex, I'm a complete beginner. I do not know where to start. It's very, 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 very simple. You need to learn the basics. You need to learn how to find product opportunities. Watch all my videos. We've got videos in the description where we show you how to do product research. If you want to join a community where you get to learn this exact stuff, book a call with us. Check the video description where you can book a call, because we can teach you all of this stuff. But look at this brand. This is doing £33,000 a month in the UK. And this is, this is just a copy of these other brands. They've done an amazing job. I love their branding. It looks incredible. But again, it's just a copy of something that already exists. You've got brands like Bloom Nutrition, right? I could go on for hours showing you these big brands. These big brands are doing all of the hard work for you. They are showing you what people want. And the bigger these brands get, the more demand there is, and the bigger the pie is. And everybody can eat, baby. Everybody wants a slice of the pie. And this is the most incredible realization I've had probably over the last 12 months, is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to look at what's working, and then you do your own version of it. And that's how you build a 7, an 8, a 9-figure business. I could go on. I had other examples. What was it that I had? Overlide, Primal Queen. Again, this is Free Soul. These guys, look, they've got Free Soul Wake. What do you think that is? It's a mushroom coffee. It's not an original product. Vegan protein, not an original product. A greens product. So none of these companies are coming up with original ideas. Look at this. Electrolytes. This is not an original product. This is all being copied from other brands that are doing all of the hard work. And the beauty of this is you can look at the US market, which is massive. If you tried to compete head to head with Bloom Nutrition in the US, you would probably struggle. But there is so much demand for these types of products that maybe what you can do is you can pick a very specific product and you can just create a beautiful brand. Maybe you only launch a collagen creamer. Maybe you only launch a super green, whatever it is, right? And if you know how to do branding, if you know how to do meta ads, if you know how to do Amazon FBA, if you know how to source and brand and do all of that shit, there is so much opportunity. And you can do this without spending a ton of cash. In theory, you could build a website like this. You could Photoshop all of the products and you could just test it. And it would cost you less than $1,000. So you can just go through and test all of these different products and see what works, right? See what works. Just get some data. And what you're going to do as you're doing this, you're going to learn incredibly valuable skills. One of the things that Matt talks about is how fast he is to get products to market. So Matt's had a few amazing businesses over the years. He's done tens of millions of pounds in sales. Matt has got a toolkit of skills now. He knows how to brand products incredibly well. His branding is incredible. He knows how to source those products. He knows how to package them, and he knows how to sell them with advertising. So if you're sat here and you're like, I can't do that, you've just got to learn those individual skills. It's like learning to play football. It's like learning to play an instrument. The more you do it, the better you get. Apart from when you're playing the saxophone, you're not learning any money. You know what I mean? You're not earning any money. You're learning how to play the saxophone, but you're not really going to earn any money from that unless you want to go busking on the street somewhere. But if you learn these key e-commerce skills, the world is your oyster. And there's so many brands that you can take inspiration from. You can find these big brands and look at what they're doing, and you can copy it, do your own version of it. And then you can launch it on Amazon. You can launch it D2C with your own Shopify site like this guy's done. You can get creative with the ads. You can do so many things, right? And the core of all of this, most of these brands, what you will see is they're all subscription-based brands. They are subscription-based brands. And if you're interested in learning how to launch subscription-based brands, go and watch this video because I show you exactly how you can find just subscription-based products on Amazon, and it's going to give you 1,001 ideas for your own brands. Go and watch this video now. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.